Good morning, Year 6. I hope you're safe and well. I'm so impressed with how hard you've all been working. We're nearly at the end of this half term, so soon you'll be able to take a break and sit back and just enjoy the weather and time at home with your family. So for today, we are going to be looking at formulae and how we can use formulae to solve algebraic word problems. So I'd like you to write down today's date, 21st of May, 2020, and the learning intention in your books, remembering to write our date in Roman numerals as well. Fantastic. For today's lesson, you will need a pencil, paper, and you'll need a 5-minute timer. Check. So when will I use formulae? Why do we need to know it? Well, you will use various different formulae in everyday tasks. So even just things like when you go shopping and you want to buy things in bulk. Say you want to buy a number of packets of chocolates for a party. You might need to work out the price, and so therefore you need to work out, well, if this is the price and I'm going to buy 10 of them, then I'll need to multiply the price by the number I'm purchasing. If you want to be a manager one day and manage a business, then you'll definitely be looking at formulae to help you work out your staff, how much you need to pay your staff, how much money you're going to earn, how much profit. So it's really, really important in so many different everyday activities, down to cooking, even just knowing how long to keep something in the oven comes back to using a simple formula. So we need to be able to use it confidently in our everyday tasks. So before we go on to that, we'll do a quick recap of what we've learnt so far as part of our algebra unit. I'd like you to set your timer to 5 minutes and then have a go at answering the questions shown on screen. Excellent. Let's go through our answers. Which formula would we use to find the volume of a cube? We do length multiplied by width multiplied by height equals volume. You may have those letters in a different order, and that is fine because multiplication is commutative, so well done. Number 2, what is the perimeter of this shape? Look at the shape shown on screen. There are 2 lengths that we're missing, so we'd need to work them out. We'd have to use the other information which we are being given. So if you look at the side parallel to the missing side, you'll see that we have, for the side parallel to 7 centimetres, we can see that we've been given 3 centimetres and we need to work out what the other part of that length is. So if you think back to how we use the bar model, we know the total, we're giving a part, and we might have to work out the missing part. Here we do 7 minus 3, which gives us 4 centimetres. So we know that this length here, the vertical side where I've got a circle, that is 4 centimetres. Then we do the same to find the value of the other length shown at the bottom, the width shown at the bottom. So we do 6, because if we look parallel to that, we can see we know the value there, it's 6 centimetres. And we can see that we've got part of that, which is 3 centimetres. So 6 minus 3 equals 3. So we get 3 centimetres. And if we add those all up together, we'll get the perimeter. So 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. 12 plus 4 is 16. 16 plus 3 is 19. And 19 plus 7 is 26. So our answer is 26 centimetres. Number 3. What is the area of this shape? So looking at the same shape, we can use the information that we just obtained to help us. Now you're probably wondering why I split this shape into 2 rectangles. Well, now hopefully it'll make a bit of sense. It's much easier to find the area of the shape as when it's a rectangle. So if we do 3 times 6 for the rectangle on the top, we'll find our area, which is 18. And then we do the same for the rectangle at the bottom. So we do 4 multiplied by 3 to give us 12. And now we've got the area of the shape at the bottom. 18 plus 12 gives us 30. So our answer is 30 centimetres squared. Number 4. If 7x plus 12 equals 89, what is the value of x? Well, remembering back to our function machines, we need to do the inverse to help us solve this. So we start from our 89, and instead of adding 12, we're going to subtract 12. And then we know that 7x is the same as 7 times x. What's the inverse of times? Good, it's division. So 89 minus 12 gives us 77. 77 divided by 7 gives us 11. So our answer is 11. I had to put the brackets around the subtraction so we know that we need to do that first, because usually we would have done the division first, following the normal order of operations. So the brackets tells us that we need to complete that first. Write the formula used to find the area of a triangle. So we do base times height divided by 2. Remembering back to our lesson yesterday, and that gives us the area. So whichever way you've written it, as long as you've got that the base and the height needs to be multiplied and divided by 2 to find the area, you're correct. What does the term variable mean? A variable is a letter or symbol used to represent an unknown value. So keywords there, letter or symbol, represent, and then unknown, something we do not know, and the value of it. And finally, number 7, if x plus y equals 38, then what could be the possible values of x and y if y is a multiple of 10? So if y is a multiple of 10, then the possible values for y are 10, 20, and 30. Y can't be 40. Why do you think that is? Fantastic, it's too big. We know the total is 38, and we're adding to it, so it can't be greater than 30. So if y is 10, then x must be 28. And if y is 20, x must be 18. And lastly, if y is 30, then x must be 8. Now we're going to do a little formula matchup. The formula for making a fruit smoothie is to use 3 times as much apple juice as orange juice. And we're going to represent our apple juice using the letters A and the orange juice using the letter B. Which of these is the correct formula to represent this rule? Pause the video here and just have a think. Fantastic. We'll go through the answer together. We know that in order to make our fruit smoothie, we need 3 times as much apple juice as orange juice. So you can see on screen, I've got our apple juice represented in our little green cups with the letter A on, and we need 3 times as much of those as we need for B. If you found it a bit tricky before, can you use these pictures to help you to find the correct formula? Excellent. So the correct answer there is 3A equals B. We can see we've got 3 lots of A, so 3 times A equals B. Let's have a go with another one. A shop prints posters using the rule that the cost is 75p for each poster. So if you want a poster, you're going to have to pay 75p per poster. Now, which of these is the correct formula to represent this rule? For the cost, we're going to represent the cost using the letter C, and we're going to represent the poster using the letter D. So have a look at the formula shown on screen and choose the correct formula to represent this rule. Fantastic. So this picture might be able to help you. Here you can see, say I wanted 3 posters, for example. So I wanted 3 posters and each of them cost 75 pence. What would we need to do? Super. We'd need to do 75 times the number of posters equals the cost. So 75p is how much one poster costs, but I'd need to do 75 times the number of posters. So if I want 3 posters, I'd have to do 75 times 3. If I want 10 posters, I'd have to do 75 times 10. And then once I've done that, I would get my cost. So well done if you managed to get those. Now we're going to have a look at formula word problems. A company rents out flat screen TVs based on a one-off payment of £35 and then a weekly hire cost of £12. That means when you go into the shop and you say, oh, I'd like to borrow that TV for a period of time. And they say, actually, sorry, sir, we don't let people borrow our TVs. Instead, you'll have to pay us some money in order to be able to rent out our TV. And you say, okay, how much does it cost? And the person in the shop turns around and says to you, well, if you'd like our TV for 1 week, it will cost you £12 plus £35 as a one-off payment. That means you'd need to pay £35 as a one-off payment and then £12 for that week. If you wanted to hire that same television for 3 weeks, you'd still pay that £35 one-off charge, but then you'd pay £12 for every additional week. The formula would look something like this. So it'd be the weekly hire cost multiplied by the number of weeks. So that would be 12 times, say 4, if you wanted it for 4 weeks, plus our one-off payment of £35 equals the total cost. So weekly hire cost of £12 multiplied by however many weeks you want to hire the television for, plus a one-off payment of £35. This could be written using this formula. 12n plus 35 equals the cost. Pause the video here and just take a moment to just digest that and make sure you fully understand it. And then let's have a go at using this formula to help us solve a two-step word problem. We're going to use, if we write out this problem as a formula, we can see that the total cost of renting a TV depends on however many weeks you want to rent it for. So I'd like you to imagine you went into the shop and you said, actually, I want to hire this television for 7 weeks. Remember, you have to pay that one-off charge. You have to pay that one-off charge just for taking it anyway. And that one-off charge would cover any damage done to the television. So that one's there as a backup for the shop. And then you pay the rent, the hire charge. Okay, so if it's for 7 weeks, using the formula shown on screen, 12n plus 35 equals the cost. I would like you to find the cost, the amount that you would have to pay for hiring the television for 7 weeks. And then do the same as if you were hiring it for 12 weeks, 18 weeks, and 23 weeks. Pause the video here whilst you write down your answer. Fantastic. Let's go through our answers. So if you were to hire this for 7 weeks, you'd pay £119. So it'd be 12 times 7, which equals 84, and then 84 plus 35, which equals £119. If you were to hire the television for 12 weeks, you'd pay £179. So using our formula, that would be 12 times 12, which is 144, plus 35, which equals 179. If you were to hire the televisions for 18 weeks, again using the same formula, 12 times 18, and then adding 35, you'd pay £251. And if you were to hire it for 23 weeks, you would pay £311. Well done if you managed to get those. Now let's have a look at another one. This time we're going to imagine you're in the kitchen and you're about to help cook. It takes 40 minutes for every kilogram plus an additional 20 minutes to cook a joint of lamb. So think about what that means in context. It means the minimum time that you're going to be in there is going to be at least an hour. Okay, so unless your joint of lamb is less than a kilogram, you're going to be in there for at least an hour. It's going to be cooking in the oven for at least an hour because it needs 20 minutes minimum, and then it needs 40 minutes for every kilogram. Have a think, if you were cooking a joint of lamb which weighed 3 kilograms, how many minutes would it take to cook? So, in order to work this out, we'd need to do 40 minutes multiplied by the number of kilograms, which we said was 3, and then add 20 minutes. And there we get how long our joint of lamb needs to stay in the oven. So 40 multiplied by the number of kilograms plus the 20 minutes standard that it has to be in there will give us the total cooking time. Now we're going to have a look, and on screen you'll see the formula that you can use to help you. Now, if we write out this problem as a formula, we can see that the time to cook a joint of lamb depends on the weight of the lamb in kilograms. So now we're going to use the formula to find out the time it will take to cook the lamb when the weight of the lamb is 3 kilograms, so the number of kilograms is 3, and do the same with 5, 7, and 8. Now we've talked about 3 kilograms as our example, so that should help a little. And then I'd like you to use that same formula, 40n plus 20 equals cooking time, to help you find out the cooking time needed for a joint of lamb weighing 3, 5, 7, and 8 kilograms. Fantastic. Let's go through our answer. So, if our joint of lamb weighs 3 kilograms, it will take 140 minutes. And if you've written it in hours, that is fine. So, the reason we've got that answer is because we do 40 minutes multiplied by 3. So 40 times 3, which gives us 120, and then we add on another 20 minutes, and that gives us the total amount of time that our joint of lamb would need to be in the oven. Then we can look at 5 kilograms. So if our joint of lamb weighed 5 kilograms, then we do 40 multiplied by 5. So what's 4 times 5? That is 200. So 4 times 5 is 20, so 40 times 5 is 200. And then we add on our 20 minutes and we get 220 minutes. Then we do the same with our 7 kilograms. So we get 40 times 7. We can do 4 times 7, which is 280. 4 times 7, which is 28, so 40 times 7 is 280. And then we add on our 20 minutes to get 300 minutes. And then lastly, we can do 8 kilograms. 8 multiplied by 4 gives us 32. So 8 times 40 is 320, plus 20 minutes gives us 340 minutes. So well done if you managed to get those. Now, over to you. I'd like you to complete the task set on Mathletics, or you may do the formulae word problems, which you'll find in the email that was sent to you, or you can find on our website. I'm sorry I can't put a picture of it on screen to make sure you've got the right thing, because at the moment my computer's being a bit silly and it won't let me put it on here, so don't worry. But you would have got it in the email this morning, and you can also find it on the website. So if you go to the website and click on the tab titled Online Learning, Year 6, and then I've labelled the documents Thursday, Formulae, Fortune Teller, and then there's Thursday, Formulae, Word Problems. So either choose one of the first 2 tasks, but then I would like you to have a go. I'd like all of you to have a go if you can, and even if you haven't got a printer, you can have a go at just writing it out as well. I'd like you to make a formulae chatterbox or fortune teller, and as I said, you'll find that in the email, all the resources on the website. Remember to email us your work at the email address shown on screen, where we'll be patiently waiting to have a look at it. Have a fantastic day, Year 6. Bye.